Jim Gazzolo, he's Mr. International Traveler, he's sure. All over the country, all over the world now. All right, Coach, so last night, or actually Monday night as we tape, McNeese played Alabama in a men's game. Down 21 in the second half, cut it to 6, cut it to 4, then have a chance with a couple of threes to really make it interesting. Really a growing game for that basketball team.
Listen, you go play the number 2 team in the country on their home floor and lose by less than 10. It's a great net game for us. We made a lot of progress. I talked to Coach after the game. He called me, and I told him the progress we've made from South Dakota State to Alabama in a short amount of time has been phenomenal. I think he has his rotation now.
Well, we're seeing the guys that he's going to count on.
Absolutely. You can look at the numbers and see, okay, there's the 8.5, maybe 9. And look, as a former coach, I'm telling you, it's hard. It's really hard to play more than that. It just is, and it's hard for the players because they want to get in a rhythm, et cetera. But I was really, really encouraged after that game. I mean, we looked like we belonged on the court. And a couple shots here and there. And again, we're going up against a team that's number 2 in the country.
Number 2 in the country, and starts 3 guys on the front line at 6'11" each.
That's right.
So that is the ultimate difference between majors and mid-majors.
That's right. Size.
Maybe a mid-major gets one 6'11" guy or 6'10" guy. Maybe you see that like in North Dakota or South Dakota State did, but you don't get 3 to start on the front line, and you don't get one that can knock out a 3-pointer like Grant Nelson could last night or Monday night. But to be able to play with them on the boards, 36-35, lose only 36-35 on the boards, to me shows the potential of this team.
For sure, and I think, after the South Dakota game, that was one of the emphasis that Coach had was, rebounding. And, I think that, again, you're going against, arguably maybe the best team in the country. And we held our own. I was really, really excited about it. We're going to have a great year. Coach has said it all along that we might not be 30 and whatever because our schedule is so much harder this year. And it's simply because we're a good basketball team. We're a good program, and it's hard to get games. People say, in the basketball world and athletic world, like, man, you're going to South Dakota to play South Dakota State the first game of the year. They went to the tournament, and it's pretty simple to say, well, yeah, the field of 68, that was a big part of it, but we couldn't find games.
No.
I mean, our schedule, literally, we got North Texas a couple weeks ago. So, like, it was just anybody who would play us, we'd say, hey, we'll do it. But in the long run, when we get into February, March, that's when it's going to take over, and you're going to be, I believe, we'll be thankful for the schedule.
It's a weird thing because I was talking to people about it, and they were like, well, yeah, we'll be more ready and more prepared. The problem is when you're a mid-major and you lose a couple extra games, suddenly your seeding goes from 12 to 14, and you're playing somebody better, but you are a better basketball team.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I mean, it's, I think that, again, being on the men's basketball oversight committee, you really, me personally, I have seen on the front line of how important scheduling is. If you're a mid-major and you want to get a decent seed, you have to schedule those games, but you're right. You have to win some, but you can't win them if you don't schedule.
No.
And so, for us to be able to say, hey, listen, we're going to challenge ourselves. Like next Monday, North Texas in here is a huge game.
Huge game, whiteout.
It's a huge game, and if you don't have your tickets, you need to get your tickets. And I know I'm selling this. However, we need to sell this place out. This North Texas is a really, really good mid-major. They'll be in the NCAA tournament, and to have a team like that come here, we need to sell this place out.
No, and you look at the next 5 games. You've got them, Santa Clara at the end here.
That's right.
And you've got 3 games in the Virgin Islands that are all going to be mid-major or above.
Absolutely.
So it's a big stretch.
It's a huge stretch for us. These next 5 games.
And people that have complained over the years that one of the reasons why they didn't come here was because of the competition, really have to buck up if that's what they want to see. They're going to see a mid-major program coming in here.
That's right. And North Texas won the NIT. They've been to the tournament multiple years.
And if you want to see more of them, you have to come out here because that's how more of them will get here.
No question. And so when you look at it, South Dakota State's been to 3 out of 5 NCAA tournaments. North Texas won the NIT, been to the tournament multiple years in a row. Like, those are the programs we're aspiring to be.
Yeah.
So for us, to have an opportunity to have those opponents like North Texas and Santa Clara here, Polk Nation needs to come out and fill this place, because it'll be, number one, it's great competition, but these games are huge for us when it gets to March.
Well, yeah, and it's also, there's not much going on Monday night, but also this is what you've been asking for.
Amen.
You've been asking for these games,
That's
and
right.
here they are, and
That's
now
right.
let's see. When we come back, we're going to talk about women's basketball. I want to get your thoughts on women's basketball. We have
Excited.
a couple of people from the women's basketball team coming up, but 3-0.
I know.
We have a 3-0 team on campus. Who would have thought that?
I know. I'm really excited about what the changes that Coach Kennedy has made, after this season last year. I'm really, and I think they're paying dividends.
We'll have them after this on Polk Nation.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
Welcome to Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where every dish is crafted with fresh ingredients bursting with flavor. Make your date night unforgettable with our authentic Mexican dishes in a cozy and unique setting. Experience our warm and welcoming staff dedicated to ensuring your dining experience is nothing short of exceptional. Unwind at our bar with weekly drink specials perfect for any occasion. Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where great food, people, and drinks come together.
The Cowboys are going to do some really big things. Really big.
McNeese athletes bring big energy, big plays, and big spirit to every game. That's why Lakeside is proud to be such a huge fan. We're a hometown team too, in the business of backing big dreams across our community every day. And we always bank on big wins with McNeese Sports. Go big with Lakeside and McNeese.
New to Lake Charles, but not Louisiana, Mockler Beverage has been a leading Anheuser-Busch distributor for over 35 years. Known for an unwavering commitment to quality and service, we're excited to bring our excellence to Southwest Louisiana. Our exceptional portfolio of brands ensures we have the perfect beverage for every taste and occasion. Experience the Mockler difference, where every sip tells a story of excellence and satisfaction. Mockler Beverage, we serve Southwest Louisiana. For more information or to join the team, go to mocklerbeverage.com.
Welcome back to Polk Nation. It is a pleasure to have Kiayra Ellis. Welcome to Polk Nation. Are you doing well?
Yes, how are you?
I'm doing great. I apologize for, anything that my colleague over here has to say or doesn't say. We're really, really blessed that he has a clean jacket on today. It's a big day, really big day. Okay, Key, let's talk about this. So this is your first year at McNeese. So tell Polk Nation, how's the transition been, and how do you like Lake Charles and the program and all that good stuff?
Okay, I feel like the transition for me has been really easy. Coach K has been there like the whole step of the way. He's been listening to all my questions, answering them. He's just been helping me out a whole lot. So I just feel like, I don't know, it's just been real smooth, real smooth.
How do you like Lake Charles?
It's cool. It's not really that much, but I mean, I'm used to Louisiana, so it's not nothing that I'm not used to. So
you grew up in Shreveport, okay? Okay, so let's get to this, because this is always my favorite question for student athletes. What's your favorite restaurant in town? It can't be Cane's.
Why is it always food?
God.
Why is it always food with you?
I mean, I like food. What's this called? It's by the little school. It's over there off Nelson.
Tell me the kind of food.
Oh my God, what is it called?
He's probably got a free meal from it. That's why he's probably looking for it.
It'll come to you.
He's just
It'll
looking
come
for
to
the
you.
name
It'll
of the
come
place
to
to
you.
get a free meal.
There's a lot of good restaurants on Nelson. That's true. Yes.
Yep. That one is
So,
good.
so the big question for us is Arkansas State to here. Last year you had some injury problems and that. What's been the transition as far as on the court goes? And you got a lot of newcomers you came with. What's that been like? And take us from where you were in the summer here to now. How much has this team grown?
Ooh, since the summertime, I feel like we've grown a whole lot. Like, I feel like now our chemistry is starting to come together. We starting to play together, bounce off each other. It's just been really good. Nothing I can complain about. It's just been smooth.
Okay, you're off to a 3-0 start. Competition gets a little heavier starting next week with Utah and BYU on back-to-back nights. For someone like you that's played and faced them as a mid-major before, faced teams like this, what's it like to step up in competition, and how much do you like to test yourself in these games?
I love the challenge. I feel like in this moment, it's the time for us to lock in and work on what we need to work on, focus on what we need to focus on, control what we can control, and then I feel like the game will come to us.
Do you like having the week off before games?
Yes.
Well, Keith, talk about this. So you were here this summer. Talk about the summer program that has that Coach Kennedy put in to get your team ready, to get you ladies ready for the season. Talk about what the program was like this summer.
For Coach K, he always told us that like everything basically is for a reason. Like he does things like for a greater purpose. Like nothing that he does is like it doesn't like
We don't do a
go to
drill
waste.
just to do a drill.
Yeah, we don't
Right.
do stuff just to be doing it. It's like for something bigger than what we don't see, and that's what I understand with him, and I'm able to explain it to my teammates. Because sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, like why are we doing this? Like, why is this? Why is that?" But it's like I understand what he's doing, so it's like everything that we do is towards like something good. So we just gotta get over that and then just stay focused. And I feel like that's what we've been doing.
You have an interesting roster, and as you have a lot of new faces in here who have experience playing basketball at a higher level and that. But you also have a lot of youngsters that were freshmen last year that went through a tough season. What's that kind of growth process with them? How much leadership do you have to kind of show, and how much do you have to learn from them?
I feel like they've been letting us come in and lead them, and they actually be listening. They also be helping too, like it, cause I'm new, so I don't know everything, and they've been here already. So like the stuff that I don't know, they'll help me with, so I can help them with later on. Like if they lacking in it, I can help them in it. Like plays or Coach K, like understanding just the whole McNeese basketball program.
Why was it important to come back to Louisiana? Because a lot of kids on this team have kind of come back to the area. What was that important to you, and what did you kind of learn from that?
For me, I want to be close to my family because I felt like when I first went off to college, I was like, oh, I don't want to be at home. Like, I want to be far away. But then being far away, it's like, oh, I kind of miss being at home. So, like, for me, it was more so my family is in Louisiana, and that's fun being able to play in Louisiana, have all my family come and play and watch me play.
What do you think of the kids' game?
Pretty cool, huh?
Ooh, it was cool. It was loud. Like, it was... Ooh, them kids was loud. But it was fun, though. It was fun.
So watching your team, and I've been here, obviously, from day one with Coach Kennedy, but this team seems like it has better chemistry than any of the other teams that Coach has had here. Talk about maybe why you think that is. I mean, is it the makeup of the locker room? Is it the time you spend off the floor together? Was it the summer? But it's pretty evident. And look, winning solves a lot, right? So when you're 3-0, but you can tell when you walk through practice, when you're watching the bench, that the chemistry is really good. Why do you think that is?
I think it's because, we hung out with each other throughout the summertime, so that really did help. But also because we all have, the championship mindset. So nobody takes nothing anyone says personal. And I like that. Like, we able to get after each other and be nice after that, be cool after that. Like, oh, we know it's just, we just competitive. It's just being competitive. Like, we all know the goal. Like, we don't want to continue, the same pattern that McNeese basketball team been having. So, everybody's just been on board with it, and it's been really cool. And it also has helped our chemistry a whole lot. Like, everybody know the goal, the plan, and we just been rocking and rolling.
Awesome.
It's been a big difference and a big change for you, Key. Also, obviously, good luck coming up this week. Then you come back to play Utah Tech when you get back. So a big couple of weeks here for you guys, right? When we come back, we'll have Coach Kennedy talk about that after this.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
Welcome to Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where every dish is crafted with fresh ingredients bursting with flavor. Make your date night unforgettable with our authentic Mexican dishes in a cozy and unique setting. Experience our warm and welcoming staff dedicated to ensuring your dining experience is nothing short of exceptional. Unwind at our bar with weekly drink specials perfect for any occasion. Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where great food, people, and drinks come together.
The Cowboys are going to do some really big things. Really big.
McNeese athletes bring big energy, big plays, and big spirit to every game. That's why Lakeside is proud to be such a huge fan. We're a hometown team too, in the business of backing big dreams across our community every day. And we always bank on big wins with McNeese Sports. Go big with Lakeside and McNeese.
New to Lake Charles, but not Louisiana, Mockler Beverage has been a leading Anheuser-Busch distributor for over 35 years. Known for an unwavering commitment to quality and service, we're excited to bring our excellence to Southwest Louisiana. Our exceptional portfolio of brands ensures we have the perfect beverage for every taste and occasion. Experience the Mockler difference, where every sip tells a story of excellence and satisfaction. Mockler Beverage, we serve Southwest Louisiana. For more information or to join the team, go to mocklerbeverage.com.
Next guest is Lynn Kennedy, women's basketball coach, McNeese State, off to a 3-0 start. Best start in some time here. Coach, I wanted to ask you this. You scheduled this to set up to where you would grow as a team. Now you've gone through the process of what have you learned in the first 3 games, and what do you want to see in the next 2 at Utah and BYU?
Well, I think even going back to the 2 scrimmages we had against 2 postseason teams, I think that did help us get ready for the 3 games and then, get ready for Utah. But we looked at building team chemistry, on court, off court, all those things that you can do in the first couple of weeks, and I think that we've seen that growth. And the competition now steps up with Utah, but I feel like we're in a really good place. We were able to get through some stuff this week and kind of look at game film, again, get ready for Utah, put in the scout. But I'm excited about stepping up and competing against really a top 15 team.
Yeah, how important is it to get some of that game tape on?
Yeah.
So that those are your teaching moments that they actually see, not just you saying it.
Well, a lot of times you don't get the individual tape that you want on each player. We have that now for everybody, and so to evaluate that, they can see the things they need to work on, improve, and get ready for next week, and so that helps. Kind of this week. Reevaluate, and then also, we're looking at Utah right now, so we have really a week to prepare for them.
Well, Coach, let's talk about this. We had Key on earlier,
Yeah.
and talked about the chemistry. Mm-hmm. Is it the makeup of the team? Obviously, I think you did really well in the portal. I think all the changes you made in the offseason have, so far worked, but talk about the chemistry of this team and why maybe it's a little bit different than years past.
Yeah, we've talked about it before too. I think just having the summer session where everybody came together, It allowed us to work out early, get into school, kind of build that team chemistry, especially with the portal now. You need those extra months, the extra weeks to have together. But I've said it from the beginning. It felt like this was our first team that we've put together. Like my philosophy, my coaching style, the coaching staff is what we want, to be here. We have coaches that are out, with the local high school club coaches, bringing in Coach Pittman. He's from the area. He's been in the Southland. He knows Louisiana. He knows Texas, and that's helped too as well. But I think just the combination of the summer, our coaching staff, and then really the players that we have, the athleticism, the height, just my coaching style fits who we are now this year. So I think all those combinations kind of help that transition. But we still got to do on the court. And we've talked about that too. But so far, the progression has been good. Yeah.
Obviously, the big difference is the athleticism is there that hasn't been there, especially the length it seems on defense. Is that what you're seeing? Because you tip a lot of balls, and you're now starting to grab them and kind of kick into your offense, kind of off the defense. Is that the biggest difference?
It is, and we've talked a lot about just the defensive intensity, who we are going to be this year, and I think defense has really elevated itself, throughout the summer and then the fall workouts. But you see that in our practices, the tip balls, and now actually going to get steals. We broke the school record in steals the other night, and so it's really, the intensity on the defensive end for us has got to be there. Now that we have the athleticism and the length, we can shut down teams, I think, in the half court, and now we can be able to extend full court, change it up defensively. We don't have to just rely on a zone or maybe a trapping full court. We can mix it up a lot, and so we've been able to do that in these early games.
You're also much better in the paint. That seems to be, especially defensively in the paint. Last year, you kind of got bullied at times in the paint. It seems like you have a group now that can kind of almost change that and flip it.
Yeah, we with our size and our length, our athleticism, I do feel like we're stronger. We're more physical presence in the paint. Teams are not going to drive against us as much as they have been in the past. So I do feel like, and rebounding, we've been better in rebounding too as well. So I think the combination of all those has raised our defensive intensity, our defensive level. We've got to continue now, especially next week, going into teams that are going to be tougher in the paint, but I think we need to respond.
You also, even the freshmen, they look like they're in much better athletic shape.
Yeah, when you compete against better players like we have in practice, and now we get our practice team this week, you're better. And so our freshmen have elevated their game throughout the summer. They realize that their roles are changing with this team, but they're better players, and they're really, elevated who they are on the court, off the court, and that's helped our team. And they've accepted the role too. And sometimes that's hard when you start 30, 32 games in a season and then have to change your role. But they've accepted it. They want to win. And that's the great part about this team is they've come together and accepted the roles.
I think, and I hit it on my first question about chemistry, but you can really see that, Coach. Like, you take the two freshmen, that started, right? And now they're coming off the bench, but their body language, all the things that they're about is about winning. And I think that's a real tribute to you as a coach and your coaching staff. And that leads me to the next question. Like, you've done a great job, especially this year, and it took you a while to make those inroads, and always does. But to be able to recruit the local talent in the state of Louisiana here, what do you think was the turning point with that? And I know Coach Pittman from this area has helped a lot, but what where do you think the tide turned in that recruiting?
Well, it's hard to go back, but I think it really started when I arrived here. We started to lay the foundation for it, and I know it takes time, but even with Paris, I was at every game that she was at the first summer, going to watch her games. We talked to her. It wasn't the right time. We've talked about that with her in other interviews, but at some point, you hope for maybe the chance to get her back. And that happened. And it took 3 days. When she was in the portal, probably a minute after she was in the portal, I sent her a text and said, hey, come on home. We're ready for you. And it was just that process of going to somewhere else, realizing she wanted to come back home and be that presence here. But it probably started with Ty. From New Orleans, she was at South Alabama. She wanted a bigger role and a bigger presence on the team, and she wanted to come closer back to home. And, to get her and kind of have that first Louisiana player come back, I think got kind of set hey, McNeese is ready. They want players here, and I think it does take time sometimes to get players to come back. But now hopefully we can see that, in the future, get those players back and keep them at home.
Absolutely.
Yeah, big changes with the McNeese women's basketball team. When we come back, we'll get Coach's final thoughts after this.
At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Women's basketball team, now they're going to Utah. BYU. As a coach, this is an interesting time because they are flipping completely on who they play. But when they come back, Utah Tech is a like game. How important is that stretch of 3 games?
I think it's really important. Obviously, our competition.
To play well.
Yeah. Our competition hasn't been great, but I talked about in the early segments, the chemistry, the talent level that you mentioned, the athleticism, we're definitely a better basketball team. We'll get really challenged in Utah playing 2 Big 12 teams, back-to-back nights. But then people say, well, why are you going to do that? Well, obviously, they're paying us to come play.
Yeah.
And doing it back-to-back nights allows us to get home a day earlier to prepare for a Utah Tech team.
But also it gets you prepared to play turnaround games for the tournament.
Absolutely, 100%.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing.
I don't either. And Coach and I talked about it when we scheduled it, and we both agreed because of the tournament, getting ready back-to-back, and then also getting home earlier to get ready for, a mid-major at home, which is a huge game.
Yeah.
Utah Tech at home is a huge game for us.
No, that's a big game suddenly. All of a sudden, you bring some people in there. Okay, let's get to football really quick. You go to Northwestern State. Haven't played Northwestern State since 2021.
I know.
Strangely.
Crazy, huh?
Probably a little bit of tension there because of last year.
Sure.
But a winnable game. They have immense problems up there. But as you get into it, 7-5 is a whole lot different than 6-6. And it's a whole lot different than 5-7.
Absolutely.
Does this team have to go 7-5?
I mean, look, I think that for us, we're competing and trying to get better every week. Our goal was to compete for championships. Obviously, we're not going to win a championship. We left a couple games, on the table. We're definitely a better football team. You take it 1 week at a time. And the thing about Northwestern State that's always scary is, yes, they have some issues and they're very young, new coach, and it's been documented all the things that happened last year. But this is the game of the year.
Oh, this is their game. This is always their game.
This is their Super Bowl, their community, their university, their athletic department, their AD, their football coach. Like, this is it. So we are, it's easy to say, yeah, but they haven't won a game. I'm telling you, we're going to get their best shot.
They're going to punch you.
Absolutely.
They're going to do everything they can to win this football game. It's their senior night. It's their one chance. They understand that. They know what this means. They know what this means to their community. They know what this means, a win means for their football program.
Absolutely, 100%.
So if they're not, and we've seen this team at occasion not come out to play. So
yeah, I mean, if we come out there with the same mentality we had at Houston Christian, we can get beat. I mean,
but if you come out like East, do we got to call them East Texas or whatever now?
Yes, that is the politically correct term right now. Yes, if we come out like we have at home, then I think we'll take care of business and going into the last week and against our arch rival Lamar. So this is a big couple weeks. Obviously both basketballs have big games, and then our football program. It's a big 2-week stretch.
East Texas A&M.
Yeah, how about that?
At Commerce, do we have to?
No. It's just East Texas A&M from.
So what is it with you beat them so bad the other day that they go into witness protection or something? They have to change their name?
No, I'll tell you what though, we did play really well. I was really, and again, they've had a really down year too.
Wow, they just won a big game. They just beat.
They did.
Who'd they beat? They just beat Stephen F.
They did beat Stephen F. Yes.
They just knocked Stephen F. out of any playoff chances.
They did, but we played really well, and I will say this too, and we had a lot of football to play, but the defensive side of the ball has allowed us to have the level of success that we've had. I mean, the changes that Coach Goff made on that side of the ball, the defensive coaches that we've added, the different schemes. I mean, it's night and day, that side of the ball compared to last year.
Yes, it is. Don't forget the whiteout Monday.
Yeah.
North Texas State.
North Texas.
You're going to wear white.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
We'll see you next week on Poke Nation.